Hi, Christopher. Good morning. Nice to meet you. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Jackie.
Um, can you tell us what is the field of study of a parapsychologist?
Parapsychology deals with the uh, human experience of encountering different states of consciousness that aren't the norm, more specific, like altered states of consciousness, um, and how we react to that. Now, altered states can include a lot of things. Phenomena that's commonly referred to as psychic phenomena, we call now psi phenomena. And psi involves everything from clairvoyance to precognition, thinking of things before they happen, telepathy. All these things are considered psi. Um, and regarding altered states of consciousness, that's reincarnation experiences, and of course, uh, out of body experiences, which is what the film is about. Is a phenomena they refer to as astral projection, which is an older term, but it's still very prevalent. And parapsychology really explores each of these and how people react to them psychologically, physically, how their environment deals with it, and sort of get a better understanding of what phenomena is actually happening.
Can you tell us what has been the most rewarding paranormal experience in your work?
Wow, rewarding. Well, I think the clients and cases I take now. You know, eh, they're all over the world, and I think a lot of the majority of cases I take deal with people who have been traumatized in one way or the other by the phenomena. Um, and really, what I'm trying to get into it is to help those people deal with their experience. If I can come up with some answers or theories as to why it happened or is happening, is great. But what I find, and especially this is in different cultures around the world, because sometimes these phenomena are almost shamed that happens to them, and they don't even want to discuss it with family or friends or religious leaders because they feel guilty that it happened to them. um, so what I try to do is, to use a psychotherapeutic term, I try to normalize their experience, to let them know,
Mhm.
other people are having these experiences, you're not the only one, and that it's okay to seek help, because the majority of these people that I deal with are traumatized severely, and they're very dysfunctional. They can't go back to their job or work, and their families are broken up. It's really um, it's a very terrible situation sometimes when it happens. And so, to try to get them to seek help is very difficult after I leave. In some parts of the world, to say, go talk to a psychotherapist is almost, unheard of. They won't do it. It's just they consider it shameful to do that. So, one of my big things, and I try to deal with in every case, is at least try to help the people get a ground footing on how they're going to go on after this experience, how to continue their life, or to send them in a direction either of if not psychotherapy, a religious leader, somebody who could help them deal with their experience.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting what you're mentioning because that's true. A lot of people, or for me, I grew up Catholic, and everything is like, or either is bad or you're going to hell or to heaven.
Yeah,
And I think when you mention things like that, if you are part of that religion, they will take it, they will see you as a bad person, maybe. I don't know if you have you come across to.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Depending on the religious denomination, a lot of them do see it that way. It's black and white. It's either there's no, if something is happening to you like this, it's seen as it must be demonic or evil. And
Mhm.
that's simply not the case. The world isn't black and white. There's variations to it. And a lot of the religions actually know this. But when they're dealing with these phenomena, they don't know how to deal with it. Some of the clients I deal with
Mm.
are in different religious denominations. They bring me in because they don't know how to deal with it. um and you know when they're trying to, they don't want to give uh open the door to those who are followers to say, there's more possibilities to things, because that just, there's a element of fear that people will just sort of run on that. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it is seen that way. But I think, every case is different, every situation is different, and I try to focus on the people that are dealing with their experience and, well, what would best serve them
Mhm.
and becoming functional again after it happens.
Okay. Did you consider that it will be important to normalize these spiritual issues and stop seeing them as false?
Um, well, some cases, I should point out that, a significant number of cases are explainable. Um, Sometimes it's 70 to 80% of cases, and we're talking everything from hauntings and poltergeists, demonic possessions, UFO close encounters. A lot of them are explainable. It could be
Mhm.
psychological, it could be physiological, it could be environmental factors, and they're misinterpreted, and people think they're real. So there are definitely those cases that exist. Um, Now, what we found out is that 20 to 30% though are of some are real. They're very tangible. They defy the laws of nature and physics. And when you're dealing with those cases, those are the ones where you have to be very careful and try to find a different way of approaching them. The other ones you're very careful in a whole different way, because now you're trying to help the people see the fact that these phenomena aren't real. Either way you're looking at it, it's a very delicate process of trying to help the person experience it and deal with it. Um, I was trained. The methods I use both in parapsychology and in anomalistics are two different approaches of dealing with these phenomena. And whenever I encounter a situation, I don't jump to conclusions. I immediately don't say, "Well, it can't be real," and I immediately don't say it can't be fake. Um, because either side I take, whether I'm a believer or a skeptic, that will taint my very objective view of what's happening. And it's important that I remain objective, not a believer, not a skeptic when I go in to try to determine what exactly is happening.
Okay, okay. And before, and in your opinion, if a person we know experience these types of events, how can we support them and how can they help themselves?
Well, if again, it depends on what type of phenomena, but
Mhm.
if it usually people associate whatever the experience is, they do associate it with a spiritual or supernatural type of event. Um, it is important to share it with your family and friends if you can. If you
Mhm.
don't have that kind of support group, then people have other support group, um, whether it be friends that you can trust or extended family, coworkers, or perhaps there are those in different religious denominations that are more open minded to hearing what you have to say. Um, and I can't you know emphasize as too little the fact that it's not a bad thing to go talk with a psychotherapist or a therapist about it. It's a lot of convincing for people to want to do that. It costs money and time. Even to go to a crisis care counselor and share with them, I had this experience. Just to talk about it is helps you in processing it, and it helps you realize that you're not going crazy. Um, and it even can empower you to help deal with the experience as well.
Thank you, Christopher, for this valuable information. Thank you for your time and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Jackie. My pleasure.